back to GlowChat, a podcast all about skincare, self-care and everything in between. I am your host Vic and I'm here with the founder of GlowFound, Claire.
Hello.
And today we are very excited to be joined all the way from Portugal by the founder of Figgi Beauty, Jeanne. Hi Jeanne.
Hello, it's so
Thank you
nice
so
to be
much
here.
for joining us today. We are super excited to hear your really interesting story and learn more about Figgi Beauty because we are obviously really excited that we are now stocking Figgi
Yes, we are.
on GlowFound. And we're actually testing out one of the products this month as well. But anyway, we will get into that. And really just want to hear a little bit more about you today as a founder. And if you can just talk us through your background and how you became to be a founder of Figgi Beauty, because it's not a kind of normal story, founder story from where you started to being a beauty founder.
Yeah, sure. So I am South African. I have only been living in Portugal for 6 years. My PhD is in the international laws of war or international humanitarian law. So that is literally the law that is in place in times of armed conflict, whether that be international or non-international. And I worked in that field for probably around 16 years. I had my own consultancy. I worked in the Southern African development community. But in 2016, I got really, really ill. And it just got continuously worse until 2020 when I had to make some really, really tough decisions and leave my beloved career behind. It was a really difficult time in my life, a very difficult choice to make. I was definitely not one of those people who changed careers because I'm following my passion or anything like that. I loved my career. But as part of my illness, I started seeing that my skin was changing a lot more than it usually did. I've always had sensitive skin, but this was just like next level. So I understood the beauty of rooibos tea because obviously I grew up with that in South Africa. I knew I wanted to work with it as an ingredient and do something to make my skin feel better. So I went back to school and did my certificate in cosmetic chemistry so that I could be the one to formulate these products and to understand what goes in it and why. And I started Figgi.
Yes. How exciting. That's, as you said, not exactly the kind of normal where you start out and where you go from, and such an interesting career as well. You've spoken quite openly about you were diagnosed with a panic disorder. Has that really influenced how you formulate products, but also how you show up as a founder as well?
100%. I was diagnosed with panic disorder before the world had anxiety, if I can put it that way. So I had no idea what it is. I didn't even know something like anxiety existed. I thought you were just stressed. And now, of course, I know that there are many nuances to it. And a lot of the work I do bring just like shining a light on what actually is an anxiety disorder versus just being uncomfortable with uncomfortable emotions. It's helped me be really resilient as a founder because we all have challenges we deal with, our own challenges as founders in businesses, as moms, as wives, as women. Some of mine are unique, and there are unique barriers to how much I can and cannot do. But again, that's taught me to work around it and to be more resilient about it. And it's also, I think, led into what makes Figgi so special because I believe that we are the first honest brand that's truly focused on psychodermatology, which is understanding not only why your skin, your largest organ, does what it does, but understanding that it's your largest organ and it's affected by what goes on in your mental health, in your mind, and how that mind skin connection works, and that absolute direct biological link between what happens in the brain, how that travels through the bloodstream, and how that then affects the skin.
Yeah, because I think we often think about, the emotional impact of, anxiety and stress but we really don't think about the kind of effect that it has on your skin. Do you think that's something that's often overlooked?
100%, because it's not just that you're overlooking the mind-skin connection, it's the society that we live in. We want quick results and we want trending things. So whatever is the latest it ingredient, whatever is going to help you have less wrinkles now or take away the blemish overnight, nothing is, everything is a quick fix, right? So that plays into it a lot. And of course, like I said, there is a direct connection between what goes on in the mind and how that shows up in the skin. I can be a lot more nerdy about that if you want me to explain to you the process.
Yeah, go for it. Geek out.
So what happens is, right, we have this little piece right here at the back of the head that we call the amygdala. And that is the piece of the brain, or the part of the brain that's really responsible for telling our bodies, oh no, there's danger. Be aware, tiger is coming, you have to fight. And it sends a signal to another part of the brain, which is around here, the hypothalamus. And once the hypothalamus gets that signal, it's like an alarm glass that breaks. And it pushes cortisol and adrenaline through your body so that you're able to run, to fight, to be aware, to be faster, to be stronger in that moment. And when that happens and all of that cortisol and adrenaline rush through your bloodstream, it goes to your most sensitive nerve endings, again, to get you ready to fight, to move, to go. And those sensitive nerve endings are right below the first layer of skin. Your skin is all over your body. Yeah. So it's literally a direct link between what happens in your mind, what happens with the chemistry in your brain, how that is sent through your bloodstream, interpreted by your sensitive nerve endings. And then, of course, what you see on the outside is the redness, the burning, the itching, the eczema outbreaks, the flare-ups and rosacea and shingles and all of these atopic dermatitis, all of these dermo conditions where you will often hear people saying, it's so bad right now, or I'm having such an intense flare-up. And when you ask about the questions behind it, they will often tell you, I've been through a period of really intense stress, I've been under chronic pressure, and then you can see all of the little blocks fitting together.
Yeah. So with that said, what advice would you give to someone who is maybe going through a particularly stressful time and it's, manifesting in, skin conditions?
Patience. No skincare is going to be an instant fix for you, and no skincare is going to be the absolute solution. It is a wonderful piece of the puzzle, a very necessary piece of the puzzle, but you first have to fix what's going on the inside. Yeah. Why are you so overwhelmed? What is the foundation, or what is the root cause of what is causing you such unease? How is that affecting not just your skin, but your life in terms of how are you sleeping? How are you eating? Are you drinking enough water? Because a lot of times when we get so anxious, we don't sleep well, we don't eat well, and all of these things show up on our skin. So be patient, do some just soul searching, reach out to somebody who can assist you, whether it be a counselor or a friend. Or just spend some alone time with yourself, trying to understand what is the root of this unease and what kind of steps can you take to lessen that for yourself.
Yeah. So one of the hero ingredients that you talk about a lot, now forgive me for the pronunciation here, is it rooibos? How do you say it?
That's wrong, an excellent pronunciation.
So give us, how do you actually say it? What is it? How do you pronounce it, sorry?
It's rooibos.
You did it right. Rooibos. Oh, right, okay. Actually doubting myself here. So if you can explain a little, I've never actually heard of this before, so if you can explain a little bit about this and what makes it such a powerful ingredient for skincare.
It's so strange how it, again, comes back also to the mind and the skin connection. So rooibos is something that every South African grows up with. We drink it as a tea. But it is, in fact, not a tea because it's not from the Camellia sinensis plant. It's a herb. So you're drinking a herbal brew. What makes it so unique is that it only grows naturally in a very specific and small part of the Cederberg Mountains in South Africa. When you try and replant it somewhere else, everything that makes this plant unique and gives it all of these amazing properties disappear. It needs to grow in that soil, in that climate, with that lack of everything. It's the worst conditions to grow in. It's desert-like. It doesn't get a lot of rain. It's windy. It's arid. The soil is not nutritious. But yet this beautiful plant survives and makes these amazing qualities that you cannot find in any other plant or species on Earth. In fact, we won a court case, South Africa, against France because France wanted to plant the rooibos plant and sell it as rooibos. And we won the protected designation of origin to say that if you take it out of this specific small place where it grows naturally, it doesn't make these qualities anymore, and therefore you cannot call it rooibos because it will not give you the properties that you are hoping for.
Well, I mean, you would actually think for, especially France, they're very protective of the term champagne. It can only be champagne from the Champagne region, so
it's, very similar.
Same thing.
That is exactly right. That is very similar. And why it is so unique is because of three things. First of all, it does many things. Rooibos is a natural antioxidant, very powerful antioxidant, very powerful anti-inflammatory. It's an antimicrobial and an antifungal, which is why it's great for breakout on acne-prone skin. It's non-comedogenic. And then, of course, it doesn't have any caffeine or tannins, which is what a lot of sensitive skin can also react to in other anti-inflammatories like green tea and so on, because it has caffeine and it can cause a reaction. So that's the first thing. The second thing is that it has a combination of two polyphenols that we cannot find in other plants or species, Aspalathus linearis and nothofagan. And what makes this unique is the way it works as an anti-inflammatory. Inflammation is a chain. So first thing that happens is your cells communicate and say, oh, something is happening. We're not quite sure, but something is wrong. It sends a signal to your cells to start moving to heal whatever is going on. And they start kind of bumping against each other to try and heal what's going on. This bumping against each other causes the little bit of upset underneath the skin and then shows up as that burning redness on top of the skin. Most of the anti-inflammatory skincare ingredients work at that last step. The burning is already on top of the skin. You apply the ingredient, it calms that burning. Rooibos works at all four parts of this chain. When you get the cells get the message, when they send it to the other cells, when the cells start reacting, and when the fire starts. We don't know why it's able to do that, but it can. And it's the same with its antioxidant abilities. Normal antioxidants are there to look for free radicals, capture them, and let them dissipate so that they don't harm the skin. Rooibos is able to form a layer on a cellular level to make your cells stronger to be able to naturally resist the damage of a free radical.
Wow, that's so interesting. I'm certainly learning a lot about these products.
Yeah, but the thing is, so I've saying I've been using them, and I actually do notice a very quick difference. Wow. So, just as an example, I've got this really big spot, like on the side of my neck, and I'm like, I'm filming this week, as it would, and I put the retinol, the slow retinol. I was just putting it on my face anyway, and like overnight, it reduces it quite significantly, and I think it's the rooibos that does it. But so I have actually noticed quite a big difference just from using the products.
A difference in your skin, and you said you put it down straight away. This is like, because you've been using the slow retinol for a few months now, haven't you? And definitely see a big difference in your skin.
Yeah, I've that, and I've been using the day and the night cream. And I've got the makeup remover. So obviously I test all the products anyway, but I have genuinely noticed quite a big difference. Not quite like I've not seen that with a lot of other products where you see quite a quick, it's quite a, I've found it's quite a quick change, but again, it's something you have to be consistent with.
Yeah, definitely. So you talk about Figgi as being for every cycle and every season of your life. What do you feel are the biggest changes that women face, you know, in their, especially when it comes to their skin, in their like 40s and beyond that as well?
Well, there's a few factors that play into it, right? It is father time, of course. So our hormones start to change. You're either maybe on the precipice of perimenopause, in menopause, or postmenopause. So that brings change and shift to your skin. For every person, it's different. It shows up a lot of times in heightened sensitivity on the skin. So you may notice things that you've always tolerated all of a sudden don't work for you anymore. Or what I will hear a lot of our clients say that come to us for the first time is, I haven't had breakouts like this since I was a teenager. Yeah. All of a sudden, it feels like it's coming back. And it's that hormonal shift, right? The second thing is, as we age, our cells just move slower. They get a little more lazy. So they don't do what they do naturally as well as they are supposed to. And with that shows up a proneness to being more dry or more dehydrated. I don't know if you've ever seen that YouTube video where they show you what your cells in your body look like when you wake up in the morning. Have you seen it?
No, I don't think so.
So when you go to bed, obviously you have hopefully a good 9 hours of sleep where you obviously haven't taken any water. So you're dehydrated when you wake up. And your cells, it's almost like they're stagnant, like they're floating in jelly. And as soon as you drink water, it's like the shockwave goes through the cells. They all wake up and they all of a sudden move around and energize your body and get you to move and to flow. It's the same with the cells in your skin. When they're dry, when you have dryness or dehydration, so you're lacking dry oil, dehydration, you're lacking water, your cells move even slower and it's not able to do what it naturally is capable of doing, creating more elasticity, collagen. We always think products make it do that, but your skin can do that. It just needs the correct environment to do that in, which is a hydrated, moisturized environment. And that tends to get worse and worse as we age. Then there's always genetics that play a role, your environment, what do you eat, how do you sleep, where do you live, the sun and exposure to the elements. So all of these things play a role in your skin as you approach 40 and beyond.
Yeah, definitely. So just going back to being a founder, what have been the biggest challenges that you have faced in building Figgi?
Well, have been many.
It's never a straight path, is it? Any founder.
I come from a service-based industry, so just migrating into a product-based industry has been a journey in itself. But I think the biggest challenge that I faced so far is self-doubt. I think that's something that we all struggle with to a degree. I feel for me, it's been very heightened because of the way I need to work in order to make sure that I don't have relapses, that I stay in a healthy place. But also you have this idea in your mind, this is not the industry where you come from. Are you doing enough? Are you doing it well enough? Are you making the right decisions? Every decision I make has a very high price tag to it. And also in production, every decision you make can cause anything from a 7 to a 1 year delay. So not the best situation to be dealing with self-doubt when you need to be making very sure, definite decisions on a daily basis. But it's taught me a lot about how to navigate that, how to believe in myself, and just how to deal with the fears that come up naturally. I think for everyone, they just show up differently.
Yeah. I think you've just touched on it there, but as founders, business owners, you have so much self-doubt, just constantly, second guessing yourself. But has there been a moment or a time where, you've thought, wow, this is actually, really working, whether that's, achieving a milestone or a goal, or whether it's even just like customer feedback or something?
Yeah, I think the first time I really felt that is when I held my first product in my hand, because I think what makes Figgi so unique is that I didn't change careers and then ask a lab to make me a formula and put it in a nice package. I really went all out. I went back to studying. I make the formula. I decide what goes in. I decide the percentage. I do all the research. And holding that formula for the first time, knowing how much time and research and studying and testing had gone into this formula is an amazing feeling. And then getting the customer feedback is always wonderful. Understanding how much it's helping, how they're seeing a shift in their skin, and how, I think for me the best thing is how they feel it continuously makes their skin better, because that is what Figgi is formulated to do.
Yeah, that's I think that's what we always find as well, isn't it? You know, it's just like, especially getting that feedback from customers as well, and knowing that you've made kind of such a difference in someone's skin that they just, you know, so they can't live without this product or anything like that as well.
Yeah, I think as well, because I've seen it somewhere else where people are like, your skin kind of introduces you before you get a chance to.
Yeah.
So people can be really self-conscious. And I think when they find things that work, it just changes their confidence.
Yeah, definitely.
Particularly if you've struggled for years and years. So whilst, you know, it's all about well-being, I do think when you find products, I think it does generally have a massive impact on your confidence and how you probably show up.
Yeah, definitely. The opportunities that you say yes to and everything like that as well.
So I do think it is actually really, I think that bit is sometimes undersold, really.
Definitely. So for this month, as part of the GlowFind Collective, we are giving all of our members, it's the night cream.
Yeah.
Yep. So can you just tell us a little bit more about this product?
So the night cream is one of our best sellers, and it's also an award winner. It won the Healing Lifestyles Earth Day Award for the best rescue cream. The night cream is all about replenishing, restoring, and deep rejuvenation. So it's meant to kind of soak into the skin while you sleep, and give you that beautiful, glowing, plump feeling the next morning. But obviously it also works with the Figgi philosophy, which is that we teach, or aim to teach, the cells in your skin to do what they do naturally and to strengthen them to do that again. Our skin has become so used to instant fixes that we're always putting something on top to fix a quick problem, but not the underlying problem. And this is what Figgi does. So the night cream is a combination of the green rooibos, which you now hopefully understand what it does, and a very special tripeptide complex. So that's going to help with those fibroblasts to make collagen and elastin in your skin. And this is a special compound because most peptides are too big to penetrate the skin. They sit on top of the skin. They don't go inside the pore. This one has been specifically formulated to be split up into 3 amino acids, which are much smaller and do penetrate the pore and are able to go deeper. And then it's just married with a whole bunch of amazing goodies like phytofungicine, panthenol and provitamin B5, urea. So it's really about healing the skin, the repair, the resilience, strengthening the barrier, so that your skin naturally glows and shines.
Amazing. I'm really looking forward to trying that one out this month as well. I think peptides as well, that is, everyone is talking about peptides as well just now. So that's really exciting. And finally, we ask every guest, what is your self-care non-negotiable?
Sleep.
Sleep.
Sleep is the non-negotiable. I'm crazy on my sleep routine. I have lights at a certain, I can't remember what you call it. Is it a wattage and a K rating?
Yeah.
Always make sure I never have any yellow or white light anywhere near my bedroom. No digital screens an hour and a half before bedtime. Meditation, cup of tea, rooibos tea, always. Like, I just feel sleep affects everything. It affects your appetite, it affects your skin, it affects your energy levels, it affects your mood. So for me, good quality sleep, not just quantity, is the non-negotiable.
Yeah, I think that's definitely something we can all apply.
Yeah.
I'm really bad for, being in bed and sending emails and checking
Really?
social media. Oh yeah, definitely.
I'm not. I am good at when I go to bed, my phone goes off. However, we've talked about a lot. I have 2 young children, so regardless of the time I go to bed, I'm up at like 6, half 6, particularly with like being sunny. So, but I do know I do resonate with this sleep. I know it's when I have a bad night's sleep, it really impacts me for like the rest of the day, even a couple of days.
Yeah. Has a massive impact. Well, Jeanne, thank you so much for joining us. It's been so interesting in learning everything, and especially your career path as well. It's so interesting. And we're really excited to have Figgi as part of GlowFind as well now. So thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Cute. And that is it for this week. And we'll be back with our normal episode next week. Thanks for joining us.